Good morning. Welcome to the digital learning platform at Xavier's College, Jaipur. I'm Dr. Renu Jadon from the Department of Business Administration. Today we are going to discuss about demand and law of demand. When we talk about the consumer behavior, this demand and law of demand tells you the basic aspects related to how the consumer behaves in the market. And this is the important concept which tells the consumer behavior. But before going to have this study, we should know the meaning of demand and the law of demand. Let's see the meaning of demand. Demand is the quantity demanded for the consumer who are willing and able to buy the products at various prices during a given period of time. Demand for any commodity implies the consumer's desire to acquire the goods, the willingness and ability to pay for it. So three things are important here. That means to acquire the goods, the willingness and the ability to pay for that particular commodity. If the consumer is going to the market, he must have the desire or the need for that particular commodity. He requires that commodity. And in order to purchase for that commodity, he must have certain money income. And it is not just enough. He has to spend that money income in order to purchase that commodity. So on the basis of this definition, we are bifurcating the definitions of demand in three categories. First, the demand as an effective desire. Second, in relation to price. And third, in relation to price as well as time. When we talk about the first point, then on the basis of an effective desire, Pearson has defined it very beautifully. Demand implies three things. That means the first is desire to purchase a thing or to possess a thing, means of purchasing it, willingness to use those means for purchasing. That means he must have some need or the requirement. He must have some desire for that particular commodity. And second, he must have some money income in his hand. And after having that, he must have the willingness to spend that money income in order to purchase that quantity. So on the basis of this effective desire, it basically takes into consideration the three things: desire to possess a thing, means of purchasing it, and the willingness to use those means. The second definition is focusing on in relation to its price. Professor Miller said, we must mean by the word demand the quantity demanded, and remember that this is not a fixed quantity, but in general varies according to the value. So it means that the demand is here, Professor Miller has said that demand is basically the quantity demanded at a particular price. That means if there is change in price, the quantity demanded also varies. So this definition is focusing on basically on two aspects: the quantity demanded and the price of that particular commodity. The third is we are talking about in relation to the price as well as time. According to Mayors, the demand for a good is a schedule of the amount that buyer would be willing to purchase at all possible prices at one instant of time. That means professor is focusing on the time, that means the quantity, and at what time that particular quantity is being demanded. So here the buyer would be willing to purchase at all possible prices at one instant of time. That means at a particular period of time. So this is the definition which is focusing on the time period. So when we are saying demand, it is specifically mean to at a particular point of time. Now let's move to the law of demand. As a lay person, when I talk about the concept of law of demand, it says that when the price increases, the quantity demanded decreases, and vice versa. That means there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. So let's see what this is, law of demand is saying. According to this law, other things remaining the same, the quantity demanded of a commodity increases with a fall in its price and the decreases with the rise in quantity demanded and its price. That means there is a inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. Professor Marshall has defined it: the amount demanded increases with a fall in the price and diminishes with a rise in price. In this way, the law of demand shows the inverse relationship between the quantity demanded and the price of the commodity. Now, when we talk about the law, there must be some assumptions which has to be there in order to have that applicability. So these are the assumptions: that there is no change in the consumer income, no change in the size and composition of the population, no change in the consumer's taste, fashion, preference, no change in the future prices of the commodities, then no change in the price of the related commodities, maybe the substitute commodities or the complementary commodities, and no change in the tax policy of the government. Let's see the schedule and the graph of it. So you can see over here, as the price is decreasing, the quantity demanded is increasing. We can see in the practical aspect also, when the price of certain commodities are decreasing, the more and more people demand it more. That means its demand increases. And because of this inverse relationship, we will have this downward sloping demand curve. This is for all today. Thank you for watching us. Thank you.